I'm going to show you guys how to fix the tire, lawnmower tire. They don't really fit on tire machines at all, so we're going to do it with a couple screwdrivers. Every rim is basically the same, where it's got a wide surface on one side, it's got a groove that's really deep, and another groove. Your tires seat right on this surface right here, not up against the lip, but right here and here. If you're buying aluminum rims, you want to make sure that this is not wore, that this isn't too much lower than the rest of the groove. There'll be a little bit lip here where the tire pops over, but you can't have it wore here. Transport truck rims and that do the same, where they actually wear down on the groove. The tire is junk. So the point of this groove is that the tire is able to pop into this groove, and then you're able on the other side to pop the tire over the lip of the rim. So the tire will never come off if you take it off this way, because the tire has to sit in this groove and then travel this whole distance to get off over the other side. So it will only go off on this side. So general rules, if you're sweating and swearing more than 10 seconds at a time, you're doing something wrong, and I'm dead serious. That's the case. So this is our Walker lawnmower, and I can feel here that the lip, that groove starts on this side right away. If you look at this side, see the big distance right here. I will have a lot hard, not that it can't be done, but I will have a lot more harder time to get the tire off this way. I want to make sure that it's not a tubeless. If it's a tubeless, you can probably get away with putting a plug in it, but if you can push your valve stem down like that, generally you know that there's a tube inside. So we have to break the beads first, and that's the most difficult spot. Now, because this distance here is greater, this bead is harder to break. So if we pop the bead on the shallow side first, the tire will naturally go down, and it'll be harder to break this bead. So you want to do the most difficult bead first, and then the easy bead. So what you can do is just grab a couple screwdrivers, and you want to get underneath the rim here, like so, and just tap that screwdriver in, and then put pressure down. And you can try and work your screwdrivers down. Then once you have a little bit of a gap, you can take your screwdriver and just tap the tire down. You don't want to use a sharp screwdriver, because you don't want to damage the tire at all. But this is one that broke off. It should be fine. So get a spot and then just try and there, that bead's popped. Now we can flip it over the other side and do the same thing. Now it's just that easy. Am I sweating a little bit? It is 35 degrees and humid out in our wonderful Ontario. So a little bit of soapy water works good to flip it over the bead, and you only have to take one bead off to get the tube out. So same two screwdrivers. And we want to make sure that you can see that you're not pinching the tube. You with your elbows kind of push that end of the tire down into the groove, and that'll give you the flex to slide that tire over. So see how I've got the tire goes pretty far out? That's because this tire is down into that groove. If it's up too high, you won't get that freedom. So once you have your one screwdriver in there, just small little bites, making sure you don't grab the tube underneath. You can just work your way around. now you can grab it like this. Now you're able to grab the tube. I probably should deflate the tire, the tube, which I can't now because the valve is gone. Deflate your tire before you start this, all the way. And you don't want to spin the rim inside the tire, because once you find the hole in the tire, you can air it up, see where the hole is, and then put your valve back in the same spot that it was, and then see if there was a nail or something in there, because if you don't fix what caused the hole in the first place, it's gonna leak again. My problem with this tube is it's too big and it folds over. I imagine that I'll find a leak. See I got a line here and an X, means inside the tire or the tube is going like that, and I'm running it like that. So try and get away from that. You air it up and deflate it about 5 times after you fix it, and hopefully it'll expand and then contract, and those wrinkles go away. But because the tube's just too big, I'm gonna keep having this problem. So every time I forget about it, I fix the tire. I've done it twice now, and then I'm okay for about 10 times, and then the tire goes flat again. Oh yeah, I need to order that tube. But we'll find that leak, and then we can go from there. There it is in a wrinkle. Hello. I'm in the shop, Patina. I'm trying to fix the lawnmower so I can cut the grass. So I know my spot is right here. I know that I'm getting one here. I know that there's another one ready to go here. So I think I'm just gonna put some patches on all of them before I have to do it again. So what you can do is take your grinder or any stone that works in your drill, and you want to take this glaze off of the tube. So very lightly, just grind a little bit. You need vulcanizing fluid. You can't touch it with your hands. And you want to deflate the tube because the patches will stretch, but they won't shrink. So put a nice even layer on, and then wait for the shininess or the glaze to disappear, and then you can put your patch on. I use these two-way tube repairs from Tech. I've had really good luck with them. And again, you can't touch it with your fingers because the oil from your fingers won't allow it to stick. No hole in this one yet, but there will be soon. So you can take it, and then with like the back end of a crescent wrench or something, just push on it. What a pretty tube. Now, in between our little commercial break there, I did order the right tube. Apparently they don't make that tube, or my supplier can't get that size of tube, so he's gonna get me a 8-inch tube instead of a 10-inch, which will stretch over the rim. And it will inflate to a much larger size, but it's hard to make a bigger tire fit inside a smaller tire, obviously. But every time I go to cut the grass, it's the end of the work week or the end of Saturday, and all my main guys are closed, and I still got to cut the grass, so this is what happens. But I'm gonna be cutting grass again. It's the end of the day. I will get to cutting the grass again. So you want to keep your tire deflated, pop it back inside again, finding your valve stem, which is right here. So be careful that the valve stem is pointing down. It looks like it's in the middle, but you can see where the seam is, and it is down on this side. So if I put it in wrong, when I air it up, the valve will disappear, get sucked in. There's nothing you can do to pull that back out other than take the whole tire apart and flip it again. So make sure that your valve stem is pointing in the right direction. Now to put the tire back on again, same thing, a little bit of soap. And you only have to put soap around half the tire. You actually want to keep the other half kind of dry so that it doesn't slip. And then just take a pair of vice grips, my favorite tool in the world, and just clamp onto the rim here in one spot. And then take your same 2 screwdrivers again and work your way around, making sure that you do not pinch the tube. So you want to take each screwdriver, you want to make sure that the tube isn't popped up, so you can stick your finger in behind there and just make sure that that tube is not there. If you pinch it, it will leak instantly, and you got to do it again. So just work your way around until the tube gets tight, and then push down on it into that groove until you have enough flex to get your next bite. Once you're past half the tire, you can almost do it with one screwdriver. Valve is still there. So now you want to air it up and deflate it. There's about at least 2 or 3 times. And what that'll do is if it folds, it'll inflate. And then hopefully you can work those wrinkles out and it won't happen again, but I know that my tube is too big, so that's probably not the case. You never want to stick your face over top of the valve. What happens is the air rushing out, doesn't matter if it's 30 degrees outside or 100 Fahrenheit, the air coming out creates a Venturi effect and it freezes the air, so you get little ice pellets that fly at your eyes and take your eyes out. That air rushing out is the air in between the tube and the tire, and that's okay, but it has to stop. If it keeps going, you pinch the tube and you got a leak. And that's all there is to it. So follow a variety of projects that include conversions and repairs to anything from Ferraris to chainsaws. And check out the Tape Boss, my newest invention that's coming to market. And remember, if you're not filthy, you're not rich.